Welcome dear students, we are on the CEC live Gurukul lecture. In today's series, we are discussing about the experimental physics, and in this experimental physics, today's experiment is Hall effect. Hall effect, which is used to determine the type of semiconductor, concentration in the semiconductor, moreover the density of the electron or holes in the semiconductor, and the angle of the movement of the electron or holes in the semiconductor. So this experiment is the Hall effect experiment. In today's lecture we discuss the Hall effect experiment. This is the setup which is on the screen, that this is the setup which is used to the Hall effect experiment. Here we see the various parts of this experiment, so we will discuss later in the further. We discuss how this Hall effect works and what are the essential part of this Hall effect, and how we get the observation table and what are the results when we perform this experiment. First, we should know what is the Hall effect. Hall effect basically is the production of a voltage difference, that is also called the Hall voltage, across the current carrying conductor in presence of the magnetic field. It means we are having a current carrying conductor and we place it into the magnetic field, then perpendicular voltage is developed, that three are perpendicular to each other. So the Hall effect is the production of the voltage difference, which is the Hall voltage, across the current carrying conductor in the presence of magnetic field, where the current and the magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other, and the voltage we got also the perpendicular to current and the magnetic field. So this is the Hall effect. Now, who discovered the Hall effect? Edwin Herbert Hall discovered the Hall effect experiment, and it was discovered in 1879 when he was doing his doctoral degree in USA. So this experiment is very much important for the PG and UG classes. And what are the objective of this experiment? By using this experiment, we can find out the Hall voltage, that is a potential difference between the current applied and the magnetic field in which this current carrying conductor is placed. Then a potential is developed, that is the voltage, that is Hall voltage, and we can find out the Hall voltage by using the Hall effect. We can also find out the Hall coefficient, which is RH, which is equal to 1 by NE, which explains how many electrons or holes present in this semiconductor which takes part in the conduction or the producing the voltage. We can find out the type of majority carriers by using this experiment, that is whether the semiconductor crystal is of N type and P type, which depends upon the concentration of the holes or the electrons, that will define the majority carriers. So we can find the type of semiconductor by using this experiment, and what type of carriers participated in the production of the voltage, that will also determined by this experiment. Now we can determine the charge carrier density, means carrier concentrations per unit volume in the semiconductor. We can determine this experiment. Moreover, magnitude of the Poynting vector we can find out, and the Hall angle we can find out by using this experiment. So these are the 5 objectives of this experiment. Now, what is the theory behind it? Here we know that the static magnetic field has no effect on a charged particle unless it is moving. So when a charges flow, a mutually perpendicular force is introduced on the charge, and that electrons and holes are separated by opposite forces. When these are opposite, then they produce the electric field, which depends upon the cross products of the magnetic density and the current density. As we put the current carrying conductor into the magnetic field, so it developed the magnetic intensity and the current intensity. Then we define the electric field by this equation, where EH is equal to R J cross H, where J is the current density and H is the magnetic intensity, and R is known as the Hall coefficient, and we can find out the electric field. Here we consider a semiconductor bar, where at the x-axis magnetic field and at the where we apply where the current apply at the x-axis magnetic field along the z-axis, then EH will be at the y-axis. So electric field we can find out at the y-axis, and we here see that these three are mutually perpendicular to each other, x, y and z. If we apply the current in x direction, magnetic field in the z direction, then at the y direction we can get the potential difference or the voltage developed between these semiconductor. Now, what is the principle behind the Hall effect? What is the principle? Where we know that current carrying conductor or the semiconductor is introduced to a perpendicular magnetic field, a voltage can be measured at the right angle to the current path. Here we are saying that we apply the magnetic field at the current carrying conductor, then there produce a current density, then it produces the potential difference. That potential difference is the voltage that is known as the Hall voltage. So this is a basic principle where we say that current carrying conductor, or we can say semiconductor, if placed in the magnetic field, then voltage is developed which is perpendicular to current path. Now, what are the apparatus we use in this experiment? The various part of this apparatus, first is a Gauss meter with a probe which having a sensor that measure the magnetic field between the electromagnet, that is measured by the Gauss meter. So we use a Gauss meter with a probe. That probe sends the magnetic field between the electromagnet, and that send the signal to the Gauss meter, and Gauss meter will give the magnetic field in Gauss. Second is the electromagnet. Electromagnet which is the magnetic field where we put the current carrying conductor. So magnetic field can be adjusted. In electromagnet we can adjust the magnetic field by the power supply to the electromagnet, and we put this Gauss meter probe in between the two part of the electromagnet. Third is the constant current source to pass the current through the electromagnet. As we require the magnetic field, so we use the current constant source to pass the current to the electromagnet to charge it, so that the magnetic field can be produced. The fourth part is the specimen of the semiconducting material with the connecting terminals to pass the current through it and to measure the Hall voltage. It means we have to use a semiconductor just to measure the potential difference or to measure the Hall voltage. So we use the semiconductor material as a sample which is connecting with the four terminals. Two terminal pass to the current source and the two terminal pass to the voltage source, so that we can pass the current to that semiconductor, and the voltage we can get through this other two terminals. So four terminals are used with the semiconductor. Fifth one is the constant current source to pass the current through the semiconductor specimen. That current source for the to charge the electromagnet, but this constant current source is required to pass the current to the semiconductor specimen which we are using. So one more constant current source we require to pass the current through the semiconductor specimen, and this semiconductor is placed in the electromagnet, in between the electromagnet, where we are having the magnetic field. Sixth one is the milliammeter to measure the Ix. We can measure the current through this milliammeter, that how much current is flowing through it. Seventh, which is very important, just to measure the hall voltage, we require the voltmeter to measure the hall voltage, that is the VH. Eighth, connecting terminal, so that we connect all the parts of this apparatus. So these are the basic instruments which are used for the Hall effect experiment. Three main instrument part of this experiment are: the first main important as a digital Gauss meter with the Hall probe. This Hall probe cable is to be plugged into the socket of the digital Gauss meter, and the power should be given to the Gauss meter, and through this probe we can measure the magnetic field in the electromagnet. So, and this can be measured on the Gauss meter. So this digital Gauss meter with the Hall probe used to measure the magnetic field between the electromagnet. Second is the electromagnet with constant current supply. It consists of two insulated copper wire are wound on the two soft iron bars whose faces are facing to each other, and there is a spacing of 1 centimeter approximately, or we can adjust the spacing between these electromagnet accordingly, and then we can place the current carrying conductor in between these two iron bars, which produce the magnetic field. This magnetic field is perpendicular to the current carrying conductor. Next, third is the Hall effect board with the Hall probe semiconductor specimen mounted on the sun mica PCB. Here we can see in the diagram there is a green color plate, that is a PCB plate, where on the left hand side we see near the zero set, here we are having the semiconductor which is connected with the 4 terminals. A specimen of the rectangular specimen conductor slab in which the Hall effect is to be studied is affixed to the printed circuit board, that is a PCB, with the help of 4 supporting terminal. Here we see on the screen that we are having the 4 terminal, 2 are red and 2 are black, 2 connected with the voltage and 2 connected with the source or current source. This current source which is used to supply or to charge the semiconductor, and other 2 terminals connected with the voltage, which is required to get the voltage developed between the in this semiconductor. So these 3 main important part of the experiment. Now we see on the screen, this is the Hall effect setup. We know that there are the various parts which is collectively used to set up this Hall experiment. So we see at the middle we are having the first electromagnet, which consists of the 2 soft iron bar, and in this 2 soft iron bar there is a probe which is connected with the Gauss meter and the sample holder, where we are having the semiconductor which connected with the 4 terminals, 2 connected with the voltage source and 2 connected with the current source. Now see on the left hand side there is a constant current supply to the electromagnet to charge these electromagnets and produce the magnetic field. Now this magnetic field can be adjusted by changing the current, and that can be measured through the probe. On the left hand side we are seeing a rod type of arrangement that plays between the electromagnet. So by adjusting the current from the left hand side current source, we can change the magnetic field produced between the electromagnets. We approximately set constant for the single experimenter. For the same experiment we have to fix this magnetic field constant. Approximately we fix it approximately 1500 or more. So at the one arrangement we fix the magnetic field, and this Gauss this probe give the signal to the Gauss meter, and then we can find out the magnetic field, and we can take the reading from this Gauss meter. And another is a semiconductor. Now we remove this probe and then put the semiconductor between these electromagnet, and then we can see that we supply the current. We change the current which is passing through the semiconductor, and then we note the change in the voltage which is the Hall voltage. Another setup we can arrange with the current which is Ix. We can put the voltage with this Ix, voltmeter with this Ix, that is a Vx, that is the voltage generated through this Ix. Vx is that voltage. So, and Vh we can measure, which is generated through this semiconductor which is placed in the magnetic field when the current is passed through this semiconductor. So this is the basic setup of the Hall effect, through which we can find out the Hall voltage, that is the Vh, by changing the Ix, that is the current. Similarly, we can note down the Vx, that change because of the Ix, and here we already fix the value of magnetic field. So magnetic field represented by the B, that will be fixed, that is 1500 Gauss. Now changing the current, that is Ix, by the some value, maybe 1, 2, 3, fix, you have to fix, and then we change this current, and we can note down the voltage developed, that is the whole voltage. So Ix and Vx we can note down. Now this is the procedure how we perform this experiment. This is a schematic diagram of this experiment. Here we see that coil A, coil B represent the electromagnet iron rods, and these iron rods connected with the power supply. Here we see that on the left hand side this is a power supply, and very clearly we can see a Hall probe which is connected with the Gauss meter. Hall probe is introduced between this coil A and coil B to measure the magnetic field, and we see below the Hall probe there is a PCB board which consists of the semiconductor specimen, that here we are using the germanium crystal, and this germanium crystal connected with the terminals and these two terminals connected with the ammeter, and the two terminal connected with the voltmeter, so that by changing the current we can measure the voltage by fixing the magnetic field, and that magnetic field can be measured by the Hall probe, and the specimen which is the germanium crystal, the current will be supplied to this specimen and the voltage will be developed, and that we can note through the voltmeter. So step by step, here number 1 step is mount the PCB with mounted crystal on one of the pillar and the Hall probe in the another pillar, and complete all the connection. In the first step we mount the Hall probe and we mount the semiconductor in between the bar of electromagnet. Now we switch on the Gauss meter, and by using this Hall probe which is placed between the electromagnet, we can select the range of Gauss meter as x1. Using the adjustment knob of the Gauss meter, we adjust the reading of the Gauss meter as 0, and after that we can increase the current, constant current, and then we charge the electromagnet, and then we can measure the Gauss, then we can measure the magnetic field. Switch on the constant current source and set the current, that is approximately 5 milliampere in the constant current source, and keep the magnetic field at 0 as recorded by the Gauss meter. When the current of 5 ampere is passed through the crystal without application of the magnetic field, the Hall voltage as recorded by the multimeter should be 0. This is the first step of the arrangement. When we are not supplying the magnetic field, it means that the voltage will not be developed. So when the magnetic field is 0, then the voltage will be 0. So we adjust this accordingly. The zero set should be adjusted carefully and gradually. After that, bring the current reading of the constant current source to the 0 by adjusting the knob of the constant current source. Now switch on the magnet and we take the current up to the 3.5 ampere 17 volt. Then we see that the Gauss meter range we put on the cross 10. It consists of two parts, cross 10 and cross 100. So first we put on the cross 10 and measure the magnetic flux density at the center between the probe pieces. What are the current density between these two probes? Now and in the next step, the tip of the Hall probe and the crystal should be placed between the center of the pole pieces. Electromagnet which we are using, we put at the center. Specimen will be at the center of these two electromagnet. The pole pieces should be very close to the crystal and the tip of the Hall probe. It should not touch with the electromagnet. The semiconductor specimen should not touch with the electromagnet. The pole pieces should not touch the crystal or the tip of the Hall probe. Both must be separated to each other. Must be put at a particular distance. The magnetic flux density should be more than 1500 Gauss, or we can adjust, but this value will be fixed for the one set of the experiment. After that we can change it and we see, we also measure that what is the effect of magnetic field on the Hall voltage. That we can have the aim of this experiment, that what is the effect of magnetic field on the Hall coefficient or on the Hall voltage. Now we do not change the current in the electromagnet, that is keep the magnetic field constant for whole of the experiment. Then varying the current through the constant current source in the small increment, that we are talking about the current carrying conductor, the current which is passed to the semiconductor, that must be vary, and note the current I in the milliampere from the constant current source passing through the sample and the Hall voltage as recorded by the multimeter. As the current we are passing to the current carrying conductor, because of that the voltage will change. So we note both the current and the voltage. Record these values in the observation table. So in the observation table we put the two column, first for the Ix, second for the Vx, and B is equal to, that must be in the Gauss and just constant. Now reverse the direction of the magnetic field by interchanging the positive and negative correction of the coil, that is interchanging the red and black wires to the coil of the electromagnet. Again we note down the Hall voltage for the same value of the current as the step 10. Now we change the concentration. So that we can we can have both the readings, first in the forward and then the reverse direction. Now we can find out the concentration of the electron and holes present in the specimen. So up to now we discuss about what is the Hall effect and what are the steps used, what is the experimental setup of the Hall effect. Thank you very much.